So I'm taking a refuge under the bamboo. It's raining. It's just the beginning of the rainy season here in Chanthaburi, Thailand. And I was gonna make a sunny video eating mangoes in the sunshine, and then it started raining. But that's okay, I can make the video anyway. Bought some mangoes. Again, mangoes, coconuts and durians, that seems to be my diet these days. Check it out. Golden, juicy, sweet. So good. So full of taste. So many subtle flavors. Oh. So I wanted to talk today about variety. Mangoes everywhere. Variety of taste. Because a lot of people think that on a raw vegan diet or on a fruit-based diet, don't you get bored? Isn't it boring? Isn't it very monotonous? Well, I find it completely the other way. It's so incredibly varied, incredibly rich, and full of different flavors, different textures, different tastes, different smells, aromas. It's just endless variety. I mean, endless variety. You couldn't even try a millionth of the different flavors or fruits, even if you tried in your whole life, or even in a decade. I mean, the variety of fruit is so immense that you can't even imagine it. Think about it. If you go to the supermarket and buy, well, let's say a can of beans in tomato sauce, okay? You're getting the canned, the beans. If you buy that can of beans in Norway, or if you buy it in Thailand, or if you buy it in the United States, or if you buy it in anywhere in the world, you buy that particular brand of those beans, it's gonna taste the same. Every single time you go to the shop and buy that can of beans, it's gonna taste the same. Every time. Throughout the year. I mean, there might be an ever so slight variation, I guess, maybe depending on the beans and the seasons. But the point is, when food is made in these big factories, like they are when you're getting canned beans, or any processed food for that matter, the point is to homogenize the food, to make it consistent. They want to have the consistent same taste every time, because that's what the customers rely on. They want to keep up that brand, keep up the image, and the image is based on having a consistent product. So all processed foods are consistent in their flavor, which is not a good thing, right? Because variety is much better than consistency, I would say. Fruit, however, the world, it's just a completely different world. Let's just take one fruit. Let's take mangoes as the example, since I've got the mangoes right here. There's thousands of different cultivated varieties of mango. Okay, so this is a Nam Doc Mai mango. This is a Oklong mango. That's what they call it in Thailand. These two mangoes. That's two varieties of mangoes. There are thousands of varieties of mango. Every single variety has its own flavor, its own texture, its own smell, its own look. It ripens in different ways. The season is at different times. And this all affects the taste. So the Nam Doc Mai, for example, has a very, how do you describe taste? I mean, it's quite difficult. It has a very aromatic taste. Very little. There's lots of fiber, soluble fiber, but it's not very fibrous. You know, it's not like those mangoes where there's lots of strings. Not a stringy mango. It's very. You can eat all the way into the seed. Oc Long is a bit of smaller mango, where it's very sweet, and just has a different taste. The point is, as you refine your eating habits, if you start eating clean, eating fruit, eating raw food in general, or just basically it's about cutting down on stimulants like salt and MSG and concentrated flavors. Like when you cook a food, you concentrate the flavors because the water go out, so you get a very concentrated food. But water is actually essential to be for our taste ability, or for our ability to taste subtle flavors in the food, because the soluble matter in the food goes into the water and then that splashes around in the mouth, and that gives us a greater taste experience, as opposed to if we were if you eat a dry food like dry fruit or a cracker or anything like that, it's going to have a more intense, like a more concentrated flavor, but it's not going to be overall as rich as if that food was in its complete state, where with lots of water in there. So back to the mangoes and the different varieties. So there are thousands of different varieties of mangoes, but then within each variety there is lots of differences depending on where you get your mango from. Say a Nam Doc Mai grown in Thailand might be different from one that's grown in Australia, although it's the same variety. So the location is different because there's different mineral composition of different soils, which are going to affect the taste again, because what we taste is actually the minerals and the vitamins. We are actually tasting the nutrition. That's what our taste buds are. They're trying to steer us towards eating what is best and healthiest for us, and that means it's basically, it can taste the nutrition of the food. That's essentially what it is. So yeah, so depending on where you get where it is, it will be differences in the taste. Now, let's say you're in an orchard. Every tree around that orchard is going to have slightly different conditions. There's going to be maybe this tree over here is going to get a little bit more sun than this tree, or this tree gets a special angle from the sun which causes certain things to happen, or there's certain the topography of the orchard makes the water drain in a certain way, so that one tree gets, you know, a different condition from this tree, and etc. So it's like endless different factors and conditions in that one orchard that causes differences for the individual trees around. Now, even on one single tree, there's going to be differences on the different branches, and there's going to be differences in each individual fruit of the tree. So we got differences in fruit variety, we got differences in location of the tree, of the orchard in general, of the tree specifically, and then all the fruits on the tree, which could be thousands sometimes, will have different subtleties as well. And then, as if that wasn't enough, when you start biting into a fruit, it tastes different down here from up there. It's like there's a huge difference when you're tuned into it, when you're really tasting the food. You can notice a big difference from this part of the mango to this part of the mango. So to say that there's not a variety in the raw vegan diet or in the fruit diet, it's ludicrous. It's absolutely insane, because it's like variety is it's actually the most there's no other diet in the world where you can have more variety in terms of taste experience. And I'm more satisfied now than I've ever been in my whole life. And I've been eating all kinds of stuff, and now I would say I'm the most satisfied, both physiologically, psychologically, emotionally, but strictly speaking about taste as well. I enjoy the taste of different foods. Some kind of strange spider or something. I enjoy the taste of certain foods of much more now than I ever did before. You can have amazing fruit in the temperate zones as well, like amazing apples and all that. When you get tropical fruit, it's just way better. It's just so sweet. So like, it's not just apples and pears. They're good too, but you know, it's not just apples, pears, and carrots. You know, it's pretty wide. It's a pretty wide range of textures and taste and smells and looks. I mean, and colors. Not to forget the colors, because so many colors. Fruit is the absolute richest taste experience you can have, but it requires that you find good fruit. It's essential that you find good fruit. If you're finding only the bad quality fruit, I understand why you would think, oh, it will be boring or something like that. And there's a lot of bad quality fruit. You have to learn how to look for the good fruit. That's something you learn over time. Experience teaches wisdom. Humans, we're really ideally suited to eat fruit. Well, I'm gonna leave you to it. Thanks for watching another mango eating video. If you watched the other one, there's gonna be more because I eat a lot of mango. Well, I hope you have a nice day wherever you are, and thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it. There's more to come, juicy goodness. Enjoy your life and have a nice day. I'm pretty in love with fruit, as you may be able to tell.